Welcome to the Truth and Dare podcast with Dr. Nandi Shareef, where we shine a light on how embracing everyday vulnerabilities helps us live fuller and more authentic lives. Tune into our podcast to hear how women practice accepting and loving the most vulnerable parts of themselves. And then stay for the pep talks about creating the space to do it yourself. Are you ready to jump into this episode, sis? Yes? All right? Then let's get it. Welcome to the Truth and Dare podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nandi Shareef, and today we're talking about an important truth. Your beliefs drive your life. After a point in my life where I had a few seasons of challenges, I began to notice some things that kept happening in my life. I was ending up in the same types of relationships that never really went anywhere and left me feeling absolutely heartbroken and humiliated. I noticed that I would oftentimes experience the same seasons of sadness that would happen around the same times of year or the same times of events. And it was the same times of sadness throughout my life. I noticed that I had friendships where I oftentimes felt like I didn't measure up, or I felt like other people weren't measuring up and people weren't giving me what I felt like I needed. And I many times found myself doing work that felt unfulfilling, where I spent most of my days looking for and applying for new positions or dreaming about becoming an entrepreneur. Sis, I'm really curious if this has ever happened to you. If not, you can just play the violin for me, or you can say, oh no, Dr. Nandi, I feel bad for you. But I have a sneaky suspicion that this has happened to you too, that you have noticed this has happened over and over again in certain areas of your life. And some of us, we might call this a pattern, or these are patterns. Realizing that one time is a coincidence, and 2 times is a fluke, but 3 or I don't know how many more times means that somebody or at least something is doing this on purpose, whether they intended to or not. As a coach early on in my career, I decided to get curious. Instead of getting overwhelmed and getting upset about seeing the same things over and over again, I wanted to get curious. You'll hear me often talk about being a scientist or a researcher. That is being an observer to the phenomenon versus allowing the phenomenon to take over you. So when you hear me say that, that's what I'm talking about. So I got curious enough to ask myself, well, hell, why are these patterns happening in my life? Why can't I create different results? What are these patterns? What's creating them? What is keeping me or blocking me or stopping me from having a different outcome, especially knowing that that's what I wanted? Well, I guess I asked the right questions, because it started to come to me slowly like a drip, and then eventually it was a downpour. Nandi, you are the common denominator here. There are no coincidences, my friend. There are no coincidences. Is you in your life having the same experience, girl? Man. And that was a hard pill to swallow. That it wasn't all of my friends or all of those guys or all of those companies. It was me. And in figuring that out, I then began to ask myself, what about me is attracting these experiences if I'm saying out of my mouth that I actually don't want them? There was extreme dissonance between what I was saying and what I was quote unquote seeing. Meaning I was saying I wanted a great job, a great opportunity, things that I was passionate about. But what I was seeing was only being in a place where people were tolerating me, or where I couldn't really use my gifts and talents because there are a lot of rules and bureaucracy. What I was saying was I wanted a loving, deep, fulfilling, passionate relationship. But what I was seeing was swipe, swipe yuck, swipe no. And people that I actually didn't really want to date, who didn't have the profile that I was looking for, who weren't good people, who I didn't enjoy being around. That's all I could see, and really what I saw for myself, what I was worthy of. I said that I wanted these amazing friendships where we could talk to each other about anything. But instead, what I was seeing is there's no way to have a bunch of type A strong women really be in support of one another and hold each other down. I was seeing something different than what I was saying. And when I say seeing, what I actually mean is believing. I didn't believe that there was any better for me. I believed I deserved exactly what I was getting. I developed these beliefs long before these experiences happened. When I was young, I developed the belief based on being bullied that no one who was worth anything would ever like me, because I was told when I was young, you're fat, you're black, your hair is nappy, no good looking boys that have anything going for them are going to want you. So you better just date the rejects. And so who did I date when I was older? Everybody's a good person. I love everybody now. But in that categorization from the kids when I was young, they would be considered the rejects. I developed a belief when I was younger that friendships were about commiserating. So I had a whole lot of commiserating and not a whole lot of celebrating, not a whole lot of seeing each other. I developed a belief that only certain people could live out their dreams, and I wasn't one of them. I developed that belief when I was really young, when I saw kids that were more affluent having opportunities, doing things that I wasn't able to do. You see, I learned very young, based on socialization and assimilation and the experiences that I had, that I was a victim to my life. And so that pattern that I was talking about is a pattern of life happening to me. And I wonder if this resonates with you. Have you noticed life is happening to you? And if you have, sis, have you ever asked yourself why? Or for what reason? Or what has created this? How is this possible? If you choose to be the observer, the scientist, the researcher, you might find some good answers for yourself too. So when I caught it, when I recognized that my beliefs were driving these experiences in my life, I was able to then get really objective and begin to examine what was happening and then ask myself, if I really want something different, if I really want passionate love, if I really want an incredible purpose-driven career, if I really want amazing soul-filled friendships, if I really want to feel deep, abiding joy without anything happening except me being alive, I knew I would have to do some really deep work if I wanted it to be different. And if you find that you are struggling, I will tell you this: the only way out is through, and the only way to get it done is to do. There's no thinking and no feeling that's going to get you out of bad beliefs or beliefs that do not serve you. What's going to get you out of it is the willingness to try on something different, to activate different beliefs, and to use them in your life. Now, as we talk through this, I want to be really, really clear about the difference between facts and beliefs. When we think about a fact is a statement, a way that we believe is universally true. We know that we know that we know that this is right. Right now, my laptop is sitting on the table. It's sitting on my desk table. And if I were to ask anybody in the world who has ever seen a desk or a table or anything like that, they would either share with you, oh, Nandi, you are sitting at a desk, or Nandi, this is on top of the table. The tabletop that is your desk. But the reason why they would say that is because it is universally accepted that that is what this thing is. It is a fact that that's what this is. So facts are truths. They are universally accepted. They do not change for the most part. They are the things that we agree upon are what it is. It is what it is. They do not change. Beliefs are things that I make up. Hello, make believe. Okay, let's go back to when we're 4 years old and we playing dress up and we having a tea party. Okay, beliefs are made up. Beliefs are something that we generate over time. It's a thought that we think so much that we don't unthink the thought, and we rarely even question it because it's felt true for so long for us. But feeling true and being true, two different things. Because the reality is the major difference between a fact and a belief is that a belief can and will, if you choose, change. When you choose new beliefs, you will get different results. When you choose the same beliefs, you get the same pattern in life. And that's exactly what was happening to me. You see, we believe it and then we become it. This is what I believe, and because I believe it, here's what my attitude is going to be about it. Here's going to be my disposition. Because this is my attitude about it, these are the actions that I'm going to take in alignment with the beliefs. And and then because of that, then I get these particular results. So you see, I believed that I didn't deserve love. And if I got it, I needed to get it from somebody who was deemed as unwanted by others. And so then my attitude became, well, let me look for the people who don't have much going for them. Let me look for the people who I think might like me back. And as a result, when I got on apps, I would start to look around and see, oh, he's too good looking for me. I'm not going to swipe. He's got too much going for him. I'm not going to swipe. Oh, this person seems like they're on my level. And as a result, I kept dating the same guys, having the same situations, having people treating me like I wasn't worthy because remember, that's what I believed. And when I chose a new belief, I got a different result. Why I'm engaged today. So for you, it might be a different experience. For you, it might be your work or your relationships with your family, your friendships, how you view yourself and how you feel in terms of your health and your body, your belief about what's possible even in this world. And I want you to check in on knowing that these are your beliefs. What is it creating for you? What's happening in your life? What's reflected in your life based on the beliefs that you have? And then, sis, I want you to get really quiet. You can even journal, meditate, and ask yourself, how do you feel about these results? And in parts of your life, you're probably feeling A-okay. And if that's true, that means you've got some good, solid beliefs that are working for you. But anywhere where you don't like the results in your life, there's an opportunity and an invitation to examine the beliefs and decide that a different one is what's needed and wanted for you to have a different life, for that part of your life to show up as different and distinct than what you've had up until this point. It can be challenging, I know, because you're talking about undoing things that may just be something that you made up or accepted when you were a child. But some of these things are generational. Some of the things that you believe are societal. Some of them are ancestral. Some of them are political in nature. I mean, we really have all of these ways in which we adopt what we say is true for ourselves and for others, what we actually believe. And so you may find that it's almost like a stuck jar. If you've ever had a jar that you can't open and you're doing everything, you try to open it up, you try to bang it on the ledge of the countertop in the kitchen, and it's just not working. And I want you to know that every single hit, every single untie or loosening up that you're trying to do, even if it doesn't feel like it's getting you anywhere, it is loosening it up. It's loosening up the belief. It's making it less stuck. It's making it less sticky. And remember, because beliefs can change and are made up, as soon as you unstick it, as soon as you fully pull the cap off of that bottle, there's freedom. You actually have the opportunity to choose something different. It's no longer stuck in your being. So this is going to take practice. It's going to take intentionality. You get to actually meditate on and make this an intention for you. Choose to have a different belief in a certain area and then get different results. So I want to leave you with the fact that when I chose different beliefs, I did get different results. But I will caution you because it didn't keep bad things from happening. Okay. So if you have any sort of religious or spiritual bent, you'll know that many of the spiritual sects talk about the fact that suffering is life, or suffering is part of life. And you may not believe that, that may not be your particular leaning, but what I will say is that bad things will happen. Like life is a series of events and it's completely neutral in terms of how the world or universe, whatever feels about you, but you're going to go through events, period. So I'm not saying to you that having new beliefs and different beliefs will somehow ward off bad experiences. What I will say, however, is that for me, the frequency of bad things significantly decreased because I wasn't in a cycle, wasn't repeating a bunch of stuff. And what I then noticed is that the variety of problems increased for me. So instead of having the same issue over and over again, I had different issues, different problems, and they became fun to solve for because they weren't earth-shattering, they weren't earth-ending, because I had new beliefs about myself, new beliefs about my ability to take these things on. So I didn't have the same problems over and over again. I had new problems and I had next level problems. And I was excited to solve for them because I had a different mind. I had a renewed heart, a renewed spirit. And because of that, I was fully equipped to take on the challenge of those changing times. So I encourage you to recognize and understand that your beliefs drive your life, sis. And when you choose new beliefs, how you're getting there, the way in which the vehicle is driving, the ease in which it's getting you there will feel completely different. And though you're still going through the same roads and some of the same potholes and dealing with some of the same, dealing with challenges or dealing with problems, not necessarily the same problems, what you will notice is that there is a different you that you're bringing to this. There's a newness that you're bringing to this. There's a renewal that comes along with it. So trust yourself to develop some new beliefs and truly watch them change your life. If you enjoyed today's podcast, I invite you to join us and listen to the other podcasts that are a part of this season. We're really excited as the Truth and Dare movement to welcome you and being a part of this family, a part of this sisterhood. And if you're yearning for more real and authentic conversations, subscribe to the podcast. If you want to learn more about the Truth and Dare movement, go to truththandare.com, sign up for my email list, and check out my services and offerings, including live events. We encourage you to listen, we encourage you to comment, and we encourage you to share your stories with us too at hello@truththandare.com. And most importantly, we dare you to dream. Until next time, take care.